Truth is making a comeback. America's Top Stories with Lisa K. Donner.
There were a few key primary elections that took place this week. A special election in Ohio's 12th district was held in a very Republican district. State Senator Troy Balderson ran with President Trump's endorsement against Democrat Danny O'Connor and currently holds a razor-thin lead. But there's more. Liberty Nation's chief political correspondent Graham Noble wrote, quote, Democratic Senator Claire McCaskill cruised to victory in the Missouri primary, as expected, and will be challenged in the November election by the state's current Attorney General. Bill Schuette comfortably won the GOP primary for governor of Michigan and will face Democrat Gretchen Whitmer in November. Whitmer's easy win over progressive Abdul El-Sayed, who is endorsed by Bernie Sanders and socialist wunderkind Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, is another indication that the extreme left of the Democratic Party does not possess the strength or momentum it pretends to command. Graham, let's begin with Ohio. We're talking a real nail-biter there.
Yes, it really was, Lisa. And obviously, I think everyone expected it to be close. I think in the end, and of course, as it stands right now, that race is still too close to call because it will come down to the provisional and absentee ballots that still need to be counted. From a Republican point of view, far too close for comfort in basically what is essentially a deep red district. From a Democratic point of view, they're going to be able to, even if their candidate does not prevail in this race, they're going to be able to claim a victory of sorts. But of course, the Republicans can still say, hey, you know, a win is a win.
The Michigan Democratic primary is an interesting one to watch in terms of who will battle for the heart and soul of the Dems, don't you think?
Well, yeah, Michigan was an interesting one, and it really did come down to a fight between the two wings of the Democratic Party, the slightly more sane and rational and, if you like, moderate wing, which, of course, is not saying much these days for the Democrats. And then, of course, on the other side, you've got the progressive / socialist wing. And they were really championing one of the candidates here, a gentleman named Abdul El-Sayed, who is a progressive. He was being endorsed by Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and by Bernie Sanders. And I think they really had high hopes for this gentleman. Also, they were playing a little identity politics because they were touting him as potentially America's first Muslim governor. And of course, in the end, he went down to defeat by a fairly large margin. So I think maybe that more extreme left wing of the party perhaps might realize that they don't quite have the strength and the energy that they really believe they have.
We're almost out of time, but I did want to touch on Missouri. What do you think the primary outcome will be for Claire McCaskill?
Well, McCaskill is obviously a vulnerable Democratic senator come the midterms. She's in the crosshairs of the Republican Party, certainly. If the Republicans are going to make gains in the Senate, she is definitely one of the people they're hoping to unseat. She is going to face a tough fight against Josh Hawley, who is the current Attorney General and of the state. And I'm not sure that I would like to wager money on McCaskill actually losing her seat, but I think she's definitely very vulnerable, and that's going to be a big race to watch in November.
That's Chief Political Correspondent Graham Noble.
Truth is making a comeback. Visit us at libertynation.com.